Welcome to episode 447, Carlos Rodriguez Pastor, richest man from Peru. This is an outline of episode 447. There are 3 reasons we study Carlos Rodriguez Pastor. First, he's the richest self-made billionaire in Peru. Second, he's only 59 years old. Third, he doesn't like to talk about his wealth, so very little is known about him. Let us meet Carlos Rodriguez Pastor.
So, what we try to do is make sure that all our businesses practice what's called creating shared value, where it has to be good not only for the shareholders, it has to be good for the customers, for the consumers, but also for all of society. And only when that happens do we get excited and get involved in an enterprise. And our short-term goal is to make Peru be the best place to raise a family in Latin America. Hopefully we can make that happen in 5 or 7 years, and that means opportunity for all, that means security, that means good education, that means healthcare, that means a lot of things, so we have a lot of work to do.
He was born in Lima, Peru in 1959 to one of the wealthiest Peruvian family. In 1968, there was a coup by Velasco. His family fled Peru, first to Ecuador, and then to California, United States.
El Comando Conjunto de las Fuerzas Armadas, al mando del general Juan Velasco Alvarado, dio un golpe de Estado el 3 de octubre de 1968, deportando al presidente Belaúnde a Buenos Aires.
He earned a bachelor's degree in social sciences from UC Berkeley in 1983. Then he earned an MBA from Tuck School of Dartmouth College in 1988. He was 30 years old. He started working in Wall Street, first with Citibank from 1988 to 1993, where he rose to the head of emerging market. In 1993, he established Banco Santander New World Investment. I looked it up. Banco Santander New World Development is basically a hedge fund.
Se llamaba Banco Internacional del Perú. Meses después, murió su padre y se hizo cargo de la empresa.
Here's a picture of Carlos with his father. His father was 60 years old. In 1995, his father died suddenly at the age of 61, 1 year after founding Interbank. He returned to Peru to run his father's business. He was 37.
Al morir su progenitor, se hizo cargo de la empresa, logrando con los años crear un imperio. Más allá del grupo Interbank, formó y compró un sinnúmero de negocios, entre los cuales los más conocidos son el Real Plaza, Inca Pharma, Bembos, Cineplanet, Oesle, Promat, Popeyes, Papa John's, Innova School, entre otros.
On education.
And eventually, what we found out is how bad the education system was in Peru. And so we started looking around and knocking on these schools. And what was fascinating is that already in Peru, 50% of the people sent their kids in Lima to private schools. And in one of these schools that we visited, we were not very good, I would pretend I was a father who had kids who wanted to bring them into the school, and the director and also the owner of the school. So she was ready to kick me out, thinking I was the IRS and going after her. And I said, before you get rid of me, just one last question. Why did you decide to build a school? And her answer has stuck with me till now. She said, because it's more profitable than a Chinese food restaurant. So that was a level of commitment that there was for schools. So we figured, if we put all these guys out of business, there'll be more Chinese food restaurants, and everybody will be fine. So we looked to see if we could buy a chain of schools. Usually that's what you do in business. You buy something and you fix it. But there was nothing. There were one school here, one school there.
On healthcare.
One of the things that our group does is we feel that we should take on the toughest challenges in the country. So education is one. It's a really hard one. And healthcare is another. We're lucky in Peru that we still have a young population. So 60% of the population of Peru is 31 years or younger. So that's why you don't hear a lot about healthcare. But 15, 20 years from now, that's going to change. So I think it's time to start. So what happens in the traditional healthcare in Peru is most people are not insured, and if they are, it's by the state, and unfortunately, the service is not very good. So a typical person who's ill has to get up very early in the morning, make a very, very long line, 5, 6, 7 hours, and by the time they get to the front of the line, they get the golden ticket. And the golden ticket says, come back in 30 days. Oh. If they're still alive, they come back. But what they do most of the time is they go to the pharmacy. And the pharmacist is kind of your trusted provider. We bought a pharmacy chain about 5, 6 years ago, and another one recently. So our group has about 2,200 pharmacies in 250 cities, and we are the first stop in healthcare right now in Peru.
On building bridges.
So there was this bridge we looked at in the second largest city of Peru, Arequipa. It had been on the drawing board for over 50 years. So I think something like 14 different mayors weren't able to get this bridge constructed. And we called the largest beer company and the largest mining company in the region and asked them, would you like to partner with us? And it's going to be a $100 million project, but we're going to use the taxes we would otherwise pay to the government, but we have the responsibility to complete this on time and on budget. And every 2 months, the government has to give us an okay, and they reimburse us. So we actually make the outlay, and we get reimbursed if we stay on track. Well, the bridge was done on time and on budget. I remember the day we opened it. 55,000 citizens of this city in Arequipa that have been waiting for their bridge over 50 years crossed it by foot. Wow. It saves them 40 minutes per day. Now, that's the good guy, the good side. Now, the business side is they have 40 minutes to shop in our stores or do other things. So that's what shared value is kind of all about.
In 2018, he is the richest man in Peru. He did it by building businesses that serves the growing middle class in Peru. What have I learned today? 3 things. First, Carlos Rodriguez Pastor took over Interbank when his father died suddenly in 1995. Second, in less than 25 years, he built the largest company in Peru that touches just about every facet of middle-class Peruvians, from education to healthcare, from banking to bridges. Third, he did it in a very unorthodox and original way, through investment in human capital, which he believes gives the highest return. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. My next video will be Carlos Rodriguez Pastor, 9 lessons. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.